Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling a pretty wild question. Can just one university build an entire healthcare system from the ground up? Well, we're about to see how one institution did exactly that, becoming a literal lifeline for millions of people.
So, to really get this story, you've got to put yourself back in time, like over 50 years ago in Pakistan. A whole new region is formed, and they're facing this massive fundamental problem. How on earth do you find doctors for millions of people when you basically have none?
And look, this wasn't some abstract theoretical issue. We're talking 1970, when Balochistan officially becomes a province. But right from the get-go, it's plunged into a healthcare crisis. A previous medical school had already shut down, leaving this huge, dangerous gap in medical care for everybody there.
Okay, so what do you do? Well, the answer didn't start with some giant, state-of-the-art hospital complex. Nope. It started with something much smaller, but way more powerful, an idea for a medical college. The public was desperate for a solution, and two key leaders, Chief Minister Atala Mangal and his Education Minister Mir Gul Khan Nasir, they really stepped up. They were the ones who spearheaded the creation of what was then called Bolan Medical College. You can think of this as the single seed that everything else grew from.
All right, so from these pretty humble beginnings, the college starts this decades-long journey of transformation. And it wasn't just about trying to survive, This was about growth. It was about real ambition.
And this timeline, it really tells the story perfectly. You can see these key moments, these big growth spurts. It's founded in 72, right? Then boom, in 85 they add dentistry. Fast forward to 95 and a huge grant from Japan comes in, which fuels a ton of new construction. But the real game changer? That's 2017, when it officially levels up to become a full-blown university, the Bolan University of Medical and Health Sciences, or BUMHS.
So, after all that history, all that growth, what does BUMHS actually look like today? Well, let's break down the numbers, because they're pretty staggering.
First off, it is a massive hub for medical education. We're talking over 5,000 students enrolled at any one time. Just think about that. That's 5,000 future doctors, dentists, and nurses being trained right there for the whole region.
And of course, you need people to make all that happen. A huge workforce of over 1,500 people. I mean, everyone from top-tier professors to the clinical staff on the ground. They're the ones powering both the school and the hospital.
And get this, it's teaching hospital, the Bolan Medical Complex. It's not just some small clinic for students. No way. It's a major public hospital with more than 1,000 beds. It's the main tertiary care center, which basically means it's the place that handles the most difficult, most specialized medical cases for the entire province. And the sheer scope of it all? It's just enormous. You've got more than 35 different specialized departments. I'm talking everything from cardiology and neurosurgery all the way to pediatrics and gynecology. It's like a complete medical universe all in one place.
So you might be wondering, how do you even organize something this big? Well, the whole thing is structured around Pakistan's Basic Pay Scale System, or BPS. And as you can see here, it creates this really clear-cut hierarchy. It goes all the way from the top brass, like the vice chancellor, right down to the medical officers, who are really the backbone of the hospital staff.
But the numbers, the buildings, the staff, that's all impressive, for sure. But the real story here, the one that truly matters, is the impact this place has had on people's lives. We're talking about the health and stability of an entire province.
And this right here, this really puts everything into perspective. It's the ultimate then versus now. You go from this total healthcare void, right? A desperate shortage of doctors, and you end up with what we see today. A completely self-sustaining engine that pumps out locally trained medical pros who know exactly what their communities need.
So let's just recap the sheer scale of this achievement. BUMHS didn't just train a few doctors here and there. It's produced over 6,000 of them. It provides nearly 80%, let that sink in, 80% of all the specialist doctors in the entire province. It's the central hub for medical school admissions and even publishes internationally recognized research. I mean, to put it plainly, this one university single-handedly built Balochistan's entire modern medical workforce from scratch.
And when you think about all that work, this incredible half-century of achievement, it's all captured perfectly in their official motto, serving humanity through excellence. It's not just a nice phrase, right? It's a mission they have clearly lived and breathed.
Which kind of leaves us with one last big question to think about. What is the true measure of a university's success? Maybe it's not just about the number of degrees they hand out or the research papers they publish. Maybe, just maybe, it's about the number of lives saved.
and about the hope and stability that one single, dedicated institution can bring to an entire region.